The virtual.
And I fell into what he was saying, man, just like a cat in the buttermilk. I heard just what he was saying, man, and I was in there. I was listening. I said, right on, Malcolm. I can dig it, baby. He talked about my kind of nonviolence. You know, he talking about that turn the other cheek. My kind of nonviolence was their kind of nonviolence. Like Malcolm said, if they don't bother you, don't bother them. But if he put his hands on you, send him to the cemetery. I'll be sitting in a restaurant, man, having ham and collard greens, you know, trying to chow down. And some white boy come walking in there. Cat don't even suspect nothing's going on, right? And right in the middle of my collard greens, man, my stomach go, and I'll be sitting there going, I hate you, you know. And this dude's over there ordering his old jive hamburger and eating, and I had to turn around and leave my collard greens. That wouldn't do some more. And I'll tell you something about hate, man. Hate's like cancer. It don't stay where you aim it. Because pretty soon, I'm not only hating white people, I started hating black people. And now that's
standing in front of a maximum security prison. In this prison, during the past few days, there were 3 knifings. Just a short while ago, only an hour or so ago, a man slashed his forearm with a razor blade. Homosexual acts take place here every day. It's a rough place. 1,140 inmates, some of whom are murderers, some multiple murderers, brigands, hold-up men. Some of the toughest men, perhaps in the country, are in this prison. 1,140 of them in the one that's called the maximum security prison in Florida. 534 of these men are locked up in solitary confinement. Some have been in solitary as long as 10 years. Some are awaiting the death penalty, and the electric chair is still working here. As you know, Florida, Georgia, and Texas are waiting to reinstitute the death penalty. And in this prison, these men on death row have the privilege of watching the 700 Club. But in the midst of all this, we found men who were radiant with the glory of the Lord. Jack Murphy, who used to be known as Murph the Surf. We're going to meet Bob Ella, a man who committed apparently a murder under some influence of who knows what, but a man who just radiates the glory of God. Others we met who loved Jesus Christ. And in this prison, you're going to meet them. And you're going to meet the prison population, for we're getting ready to hold a service here with Moose and the band and Chico Holiday and various others, and Ben and I will be there. And we're going to pray that God will do something great in the Florida State Prison. In this prison alone, the population has tripled or gone up 2.5 times in the last 10 years. In 1966, there were 7,074 prisoners here. Right now, it's jammed up with 18,000 prisoners in the overall state population. Why are they here? Why is crime going up? What's happening to these men? Perhaps we can get some answers. Right now, though, let's go into the maximum security area of the Florida State Prison.
Got lost, and I'm going home.
The Christian Broadcasting Network presents
Why don't you keep it?
a 700 Club special.
'Cause it ain't gonna do me no good once I am home.
Maximum security.
You can make a step toward the most enriching experience.
Well, I guess I should have had him along.
I remember
Must have been
I was on my way to Okinawan whorehouse, and I passed by. Well, I used to do that. I'm sorry, but that's the kind of guy I was. And I was on my way down there, and I remember passing a situation something like this. Some guys were standing out in the middle of the red light district with a couple of speakers and a microphone. And they was down there preaching. There's a white guy on this side and a white guy on this side, and there's a black guy in the middle. And I remember when I passed by there, you know what I called? And I said, the cat ought to have more respect. You see, I was one of them kind of cats, man, that felt like when you could talk about God, you had to take God into his little peaked box and keep him there. And he wasn't somebody that you could depend on. I mean, I didn't have nothing against the cat, you know. I didn't have nothing for him either. But he just seemed to be a story that I'd heard once, a lovely story that I heard about. And it seemed like he didn't have nothing to do with where it was really at. You know, it seemed like he was way off up there, man, getting into his thing, and I was down here trying my best to do mine. And anytime I got wrong with him, you know, he was waiting, he would just go like that, just wait. And the minute that I stepped out of line, you go, blah! And that's how I felt about it, man. And besides that, to tell you the truth about the matter, I thought he was white. And a lot of y'all thought he was too, didn't you? And the reason I thought he was white, because you used to always see pictures of his son. Remember? You seen pictures of him. They used to have him hanging on the wall in the church where I went. Kind of sad-looking guy. Looked like he ate something, didn't agree with him. Right? Long hair hanging down on his shoulders. Real puny-looking dude. Always hung around with a bunch of sheep. Wore a dress. Now, I didn't come from, you know, the traditional ghetto area, but the neighborhood that I grew up in, man, you find some dude running around with a sheep under his arm and a dress on, he'd have had a hard way to go. That's all I understood, man. I wasn't an educated cat. Because when I went to school, you know how it is when you go to school. Man, I went to school, believe it or not, I really did. I went to school, and when I left home, I had to go away from my own hometown to go to school in another place. And I won't get into all the reasons why I had to leave, but let's just say it was under duress. I had to go to school in another town. When I got there, man, my mama gave me some traveling orders. She said, boy, and I didn't get all those salty either. She said, boy, I want you to get in them books and learn. And there was two things that we didn't do at my house. And both of them was arguing with my mom. So I got on the bus, man, and I went down here, and when I got to school, I did just that. I got in my books, man, and I learned, and I studied, and I got in them books, man, and I studied because I wanted to find out what was happening. I wanted to do what my mama said. And I would study my arithmetic, and I'd study my history and English and all those books, man. And when they posted the grades, guess what? I got A's. And when I came out down on the boys' yard, after having posted my A's, you see, all the hipsters, all the cool dudes, the Prez and his gang was standing over there in the corner. And when I came walking down the stairs, you know how it went. Hey, bro.